the Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. I'm going to share with y'all 4 plants that are often classified as weeds but are beneficial native plants that people don't know how to utilize. I'm going to teach you their properties and how to identify them using this book. Okay. Backyard plants. First one is agrimony. It's called cockle burr or church steeples. It's also known as sticklewort. All right, so those little spiky little burrs that you would get collecting on your clothes, that comes from a native plant that is an herb, and that was used by the indigenous people of Europe and the Americas. All right. Its medicinal use, both the leaves and the seeds, are used in medicinal preparations because it is astringent, anti-inflammatory, and antibacterial. Okay. It's also used for wound and skin care because it stops excessive bleeding by promoting the formation of blood clots. Okay. Agrimony. Check it out. Agrimony. Okay. Now the next plant, black-eyed Susan. Now this is a member of the sunflower family. Okay. As reminiscent of his yellow petals. Okay, its medicinal use is a traditional herb for colds, flus, and infection. Okay, it's also used by the Chippewa people. Okay, this is an indigenous American tribe. The Chippewa used it as a parasite cleanse to treat worms in children. Did you know that? Black-eyed Susan. Okay. So most people will call this a weed. This is in fact an herb. Okay. Next is Boneset. You should be familiar with their flowers. Okay. It's used as a malaria treatment by Native Americans thousands of years ago. It promotes sweating, which helps relieve the fever associated with malaria and lessens the severity of the disease. Okay, it's also good for cold, flus, bronchitis, congestion, and excessive mucus. Okay, and just to give you a description of Boneset, this is how Boneset looks. All right, and for our fourth and final herb today, let's see which one that stands out. Let's check out. Here we go. Feverfew. Okay, feverfew. Now, most people kind of get chamomile confused with feverfew, but do not make that mistake. Okay, these are different herbs with different properties. Okay, although they have similar petals, they're both white. They aren't the same. Okay, and feverfew, hence its name, is very good for breaking down fevers. Okay, and it's good for colds and flus. And if you have children, you can actually give them a feverfew tincture. Okay, apply a few drops into their liquid, whatever you're feeding them during that time. You're giving them to break the sweat and to keep their body cool. Okay, feverfew. All right, and this herb again looks very similar to chamomile, but it is not. Okay. And so I just gave you 4 herbs, okay, that are most likely growing in your backyard from this book. Okay. Title of this book is The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. Okay. Here's Arthur's on the back. And thank you for joining me on this beautiful journey. I'm going to begin these stories every day, reading out of this book one chapter at a time, just giving this information so y'all can understand that these herbs are all around you. Everywhere you look in this land of America, this great land, you can be using the plants that are there for you for a certain aspect or dis-ease in the body. Peace. Why though?